Welcome everybody to Down the Line. I'm Nathaniel Dell. Today we have the Vice President of Operations at Valley Rural Electric, TODD Ross. TODD Ross has been in that position for roughly 10 years. Thanks for being on my show, Todd.
Hey, you're welcome, Nate. Glad to be here. Glad to help you out.
Hey, can you tell us, Todd, can you give us some insight onto what's your job position and what you do day to day?
Well, what I do daily, I mean, to be honest with you, the daily operations, I oversee all outside operations for Valley Rural Electric. I've got 3 district managers that operate, and oversee the 3 districts that we have. I also have a safety coordinator that I work with her, daily and throughout the week, and also our purchasing personnel and so forth that, purchase material enough for the outside operations portion of the system. They also, work for me as well. So, the daily aspect of it, I'm basically there to support my staff. Myself personally, I kind of look towards the future, what needs to be done with the operations aspect, and set things up more on the future end. And basically oversee everything from new construction, work plan, the safety aspects of the cooperative. And with that being said, as far as what we want to do and so forth, the financial portion of the, of the industry, the company itself, I mean, that plays a big, factor on determining what we can and can't do throughout the year. We usually work on a 4-year work plan, so we try to get things in place. What we want to do in the next 4 years, we budget for that. And a lot of things, that you take into consideration, things that happen throughout the course of 4 years, storm damage, things of that nature come into play. So as far as your, cash flow and everything, there's things that happen, that can, make changes. The direction you're going right now might not be the same direction you're going, 2 years from now. You try to stay on a course and basically do what you can to keep the system up. A lot of things we do there, the system, we've lost most. They come in every year, and we try to basically inspect roughly 10% of the system each year. So within like a 10 to 12 year span, we can go through the entire system as far as pole inspections. Right away maintenance plays a big factor in keeping the lights on. We've got a plan in place on a 5-year cycle as far as our cash flow stuff to try to keep that going. That basically takes care of all our tree issues, right away maintenance in the system, keep things in decent shape, and that's a big portion of our reliability. Keep the lights on for membership. That's just basics. What goes on for the course of a year, things that you plan for, and so forth.
I found it very interesting. You brought up the fact that you support your team. I find that to be a very important leadership trait, supporting your team. Your education, what kind of education did you have? What kind of schools did you go to get you to the point where you wanted to be in your career?
Well, I decided to go to Williamsport Area Community College back in the mid-'80s. There's a 2-year course there. It's called Electrical Technology. It's basically a 2-year program. I think it should give me the good foundation on the basics of electricity and so forth. And then from there, I got hired by a company down east outside Philadelphia, Triumph Corporation. I worked there just under 3 years doing substation maintenance testing on substations, high voltage testing equipment and so forth. And it really, I think, really set the tone for me, as far as, I did an interview for the position there at Valley Rural Electric back in 1989. I think that experience and so forth, it was different than any other. It's not your, the normal kind of experience you get. It was pretty. It was a very good experience. being a young man from rural Pennsylvania, I mean, working outside Philadelphia, Baltimore, D.C., those areas, I mean, the work was great. Just the environment, what you grew up around was, wasn't the same. And having an opportunity to work for, a cooperative, budget cooperative, and that came up, I went for it. And like I said, I feel that experience that I gained those 3 years, it, really gave me the opportunity that they considered me for that position.
So being the VP of operations at Valley wasn't your goal in the beginning, but that's where you ended up.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there now for 31 years, so I had a good, 20 years in a Valley. At the time, working in the engineering department and so forth, and all the experience I got there. Being that the cooperative was a non-union cooperative, I had the opportunity to work with the linemen, daily and weekly. I was around them, working in the field with them. Basically, I was in charge of all, three-phase transformer installations, all types of different metering schemes, things like that. More the technical, portion of what goes on, and plus then the breakers and so forth that we electronic three-phase reclosures and stuff that I was involved with programming and stuff like that. So in the field, working with regulators and stuff in the substations. So I had a lot of experience in the technical side of things. With that being said, it made understand how you sectionalize equipment and so forth with oil switches. Understood the curves that you need to put in as far as setting your fusing and all your breaker settings. I understood all that type of stuff, so I had a good feel with that. Plus, having the opportunity to work with the linemen, understand what their job entails, what they need to do. I seen the struggles that they had out there, so I had a good feel as far as the type of equipment that we needed out there, so they could be more successful with what they do. And I got involved with climbing and so forth, so I got a good all-around aspect of what goes on in the cooperative. That being said, that gave me the opportunity whenever a district manager's position came up, that they came to me and asked me if I'd consider that. I was working in the district manager area for probably 8 years. Then the operations, manager of operations position came available. They, asked me if I'd be interested in that. So it's like anything. I mean, you work for a company for, 30 plus years, you get a real good feel of how things are done. You can't beat experience. You truly can't. And that's where I'm at today. And it's been a good ride so far.
What, out of all the things you've done in your career, your professional career, what choices, what decisions that you've made, or what would be the biggest decision or choice you made that had the most impact on you personally as a person, not as you as VP, but you as a person?
Well, I think early going, I think you find that, with a lot of people that work in the industry, they're all good people. I think you got to be, I've said this different times, you got to know who you are. You got to be comfortable with who you are and what you know. I know early on in my career, a lot of stuff was some people out there, they had, 25 plus years experience that were in positions that I'm in now. I don't know. I would say they really didn't have that teaching method. It was all about, you'll worry about that when you get here type of mentality, I guess. And I was always one that, hey, if I was ever in a position like that, I'm going to teach the people what I know now so that they're prepared. So whenever people like myself, when we move on, there's no, you're not moving backwards, especially you're going and the company continues to move on. I think that's important. I really do. It just makes the transitions easier. I've always been I always enjoyed instructing and teaching people. I've always liked doing that. Always got a good feeling doing that. I think that's the big thing. I think when you get in these positions, everybody's replaceable. There's nobody that's not replaceable. Something happens to somebody, health issues, retirements, whatever. Your companies always keep moving on. I think it's important that I think those transitions, like I said, an easy process, and there's no stepping backwards for some time. For a while. I think it's very important that's your job, these positions, to get people trained, make sure people know what they're doing, and they're comfortable with handling different situations out there that come about, and they're not sitting back here with questioning knowledge. They need to do.
I like the part where you said be the leader you would have wanted. I think a lot of this miss that or don't pay attention to be the leader that you want to be. Mm-hmm. And I think, from what I've known of your career, I believe you've done that. What who would you say in your life had the most impact, had the greatest amount of impact on your career?
Oh boy, my career. I mean, there's so many things. Early on. I always looked up to my father. There's somebody I think early on before I started my career, as far as I think it's. I'd say Dave Baker, Coach Dave Baker. He was my a teacher in high school. Was also the football coach, baseball coach at Williamsburg. He was a leader. He was one that would teach you just a good, all around human being. I think he was well respected. The young kids and stuff like that we respected him. He was somebody in the community back then that you knew of his name when you were very young. He did a lot for the kids, especially. I remember baseball, like Little League and stuff like that, your midget league, stuff like that. He was very much involved, put so much of his own personal time into it, the community of Williamsburg with baseball. And I look back, I admire him for that. Then up through the junior high and so forth, through pony leagues and teener leagues. He had a big Chevy Suburban, and he took that and load us all up in that vehicle and he'd take us to baseball games, and he would use his own gas expense and everything. And then the baseball practices we'd have throughout the summer, so he would always be there with us, every day. And he's just an overall good person. And to this day, he's coaching there at Martinsburg Central as their head football coach. And it amazes me, but just shows a person how much involvement he has with kids. And good mentor. He's somebody I can think about early on, that kind of, I think, really helped me along, with self-confidence and everything. Just a good guy. And, you need them type of people young in your life in order to, move ahead and, help yourself to be successful, in life.
Our viewers may not know, but me and Todd share our alma mater. I too went to Williamsburg High School. I remember Dave Baker. He was a great guy. He was my football coach also. Great guy. Yeah, very inspirational man.
Yep.
And growing up in a small community like that makes a great impact on a person. It gives you that sense of belonging and in something that's bigger than you, I think. What character traits do you believe make a good leader?
Humility. I think until you're comfortable with who you are, the person that you are, as at times a humbling experience. There's no doubt about it. And, you got to be comfortable with, I've always said, I heard this one time, know what you know what you don't know. What you don't know, don't be afraid to ask. And I thought, until you get to that point, there's, and as well as myself in the electrical field, you never stop learning. I mean, it's a continuous you're continually always, learning, going to some type of training. Things are always changing. Technology today is moving so fast. But I really do. You got to know who you are, and until you get to that point, I think it's tough to be a true leader, in an organization.
Wise words, Todd. Once you become a leader, once you're put in that position, people don't really change, but they grow and they learn as they go through their career. What traits do you think you take away that you acquire through your career once you've made it to a leadership role? What traits do you take away from your role as a leader?
What traits? Respect. I think it's important to basically respect those all around you. We all have positions that we have, and they all lead to the ending result of an accomplishment throughout the day. And no matter what that position is, you respect every position. And I just know myself, as a young man growing up to the cooperative, the different roles you have throughout the course of a career, they're all important. Everybody's important. And without the whole group, the whole team, if everybody's on board, it can make it tough to accomplish a day's duties. And I think it's very important what your role is. But as far as a leadership role, you got to respect everybody around you. You got to make decisions. Some decisions aren't always liked by everybody. You're not going to satisfy everybody. But you got to look out. You look at the company. You also got to look at the safety aspect and try to make them both work together. And get a job done out there in a reasonable time frame, but also get it done in a safe manner too. It's teamwork. A lot of teamwork in the electrical industry.
Todd, I know I met you quite a few years ago. It's been now, and I believe the first time I met you, we were out actually on storm restoration, and many moons ago. I will say that. You've been in the industry for quite a while, so I find it very important to ask you this one very serious question. Do you have any advice? Anything you would like to add out of your own experience to give to anybody in our industry, the upcoming linemen that are just starting at cooperatives or even IOUs or contractors? Anything to add that would give them some kind of insight into what to expect or where they can go with their career?
Advice. I think the younger linemen, coming into the electrical industry, I mentioned it earlier on through our conversation. It's important to know what you know, to know what you don't know. And never be afraid to ask. I think most of all, making decisions and doing things, treat people the way you want to be treated. I think if you, a job, there's three things. And everything else will come into play, will fall into place for you. Be patient. Be patient. I think in today's world, I think the younger generation, they want, everything now. And you just go sit back, it'll come. Patience is something that's real important for the in their generation to consider and understand. It takes a little while. We'll never learn everything. It doesn't come. And you learn something every day. Just keep an open mind. Keep respect. Everything else will happen. It'll come into place for you down the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, wise words from Todd Ross, Vice President of Valley Rural Electric Cooperatives. They're a larger cooperative as compared to some out there. He definitely covers a lot of territory. Todd, we appreciate you speaking with us today and helping educate all the linemen, the upcoming linemen, and anybody else in our field. Really, it's so important for leaders in our industry to share their wisdom and knowledge with those that are coming up through, because I truly believe that so many guys think, oh, well, I've been hired as a lineman, this is where it stops. So I, and I'm going to speak for my viewership, we appreciate you taking time out of your day, Todd, to share your wisdom with us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. Would like to thank Todd Ross for taking time to talk with us today. Very knowledgeable character. I met him quite a few years ago on storm restoration at Valley Rural Electric when I was a contractor. Very upstanding gentleman. Knows a lot, shares his knowledge with others, which is what a true leader does. They share their knowledge with others and bring others up with them. Well, that's it for this episode of Down the Line. I hope you enjoyed yourselves. Everybody out there, stay safe, stay aware, and I will see you down the line.